I've been involved with barbecue, man, since I was a little boy, helping my daddy with his pit, cleaning everything out, lighting his fires.
I don't have like these cool barbecue stories. I'm kind of like Kirby. When I was growing up, it was like the grill came out on the 4th of July, Memorial Day. So like that was like the happiest days of like childhood right there. And I was just like, I think from that, I was like, well, I can't get more of this.
Why ain't we controlling this? Because we started it, right? So we got to speak our truths. And and that's how I got in the game. And I found Jeff, and we hooked up a few times, and it's been history ever since, man.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Smoke Barbecue podcast. My name is Jeffrey Boyd from Outdoors with Jeff in Las Vegas, Nevada. And let's cover who we have on the podcast today. On the Black Smoke side, we have Alton, the Dog Father from Dog Father's Barbecue down in Texas. How are you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Listening to that hyped intro, man. I'm hyped. I'm ready for this one, man. Let's do it.
Hey man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go back to a concert now, man. That's the thing. I'm telling you, man. That's my music right there, man. This new stuff. I'm sorry.
Nah, I can't do it.
That's it for me, man.
I agree.
We got Charlie from Maverick Barbecue in Atlanta. How you doing, sir?
Oh man, I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you, my brother?
Hey man, doing good, man. We have Brandon from BKC Cooks down in Austin, Texas. How you doing, sir?
Brother, I am black, I'm beautiful, and I'm breathing. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, doing great, man. Doing great. I'm same sentiment with you on that one, man. How's everything going? You got some good cooks coming out?
Yeah, I got a few, man. I'm working on sides for the holidays, man, and I got something special for New Year's. So ramping up for everything holiday related, man.
Good deal. We also have T from T-Dubb Barbecue in South Carolina. The man, the myth, the legend. I'm telling you guys, this brother is everywhere, and I'm telling you, just all around, well-rounded brother. You need to follow him when you can. How you doing today, sir?
Oh man, I appreciate that. I'm doing pretty good, man. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, but overall, I'm doing pretty good.
Good deal. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Guys, we had a great guest today. I started following this gentleman a while back and really saw what he was bringing to Chicago barbecue. Really has an interesting story behind him as well. Today we have the Chef Daniel Hammond from Chicago, and the founder and CEO of Smoky Soul Barbecue. How you doing today, sir?
Man, I'm great, brother. I'm great. Pleasure to be here, man. Happy to see you guys. I'm really excited about this. I'm honored to be on this podcast because I've been watching you guys, and man, I'm just happy to see you. All right, so let's get it. I'm ready.
Good deal, man. Good deal. It's an honor to have you on, man.
No doubt.
I tell you what, man. Why don't you just give us a quick intro? Tell us where you're from and how you got into barbecue.
Well, I'm Chef Daniel Hammond, born and raised on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. I got into barbecue with my family, man. My family is a family full of cooks and chefs, and I just so happened to carry my little chubby self in that kitchen and get in there and sit up under my grandma and sit under my mom and my grandfather. And then I went outside during the barbecues and enjoyed those, watched them cook. And, as I grew older, I learned some things from TV. I learned some things from other people who I looked up to in the barbecue industry. My stepfather, John, to me at the time, made the best ribs in the entire world because they didn't need sauce. And that right there for me was it for me. So I said, I promised myself I'm going to make my own that didn't need sauce. And I was coming up in college cooking for friends and things like that. And who knew it would build up to what we got right now? Because if you told me, 10 years ago that I was going to be cooking, I probably would have believed you, but I definitely would be shocked. So, man, that's pretty much how it started. There's a more in-depth story, but,
Gotcha. Hey, take your time, man. Take your time. We want to hear everything that you got to say. from that side of it, and also being in Chicago and dealing with the weather, we're going to talk about your pits and how you cook and everything else later on. But first, let's cover what got you into being a content creator.
Okay. All right. So basically, so I started off for a long time. If you've been to my website and read my bio on my website at all, I started off as a vocalist, a singer, songwriter, musician. Yes, I was doing that for years. I've traveled the world singing, even with other, with actual people like Jill Scott, Kendrick the Family Soul. I came up doing a lot of music, and I started my YouTube content with my music. So as I went on and started kind of falling away from music just a little bit to focus on culinary, which was surprisingly, for me, more fulfilling. Surprisingly, I was shocked at that too. And everybody kept telling me, man, you should make videos. You should go live when you cook, or you should, make YouTube videos or something. And so with that came, okay, it's time to pull the trigger. I have the chops. I believe I got the cooking skills. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and try my hand at it. And so, I kicked it off last year, 2021, April. And I've been going hard on it ever since. I've had the benefit of taking it to the next level and becoming a content creator for Facebook as well, doing reels and things like that. And that's been a blessing. So I told one of the guys online, I don't know what his issue was with me, but he felt like that I needed to show the process, that people need to show the process of their food on Facebook if they're going to sell food to people on Facebook. And I told him, and he said, all they do is show a flyer. Well, I told him, I said, well, sometimes people only need to show a flyer, depending on who you are. He took umbrage to that, of course. But I said, case in point, if I put a flyer up, people, my Cash App lights up. People are gonna come to eat. I don't have to show the process of my food in pictures on Facebook when I have a whole YouTube channel showing the process.
Right. Exactly.
For people to see. So I asked him, I said, so why are you doing it for free? I'm like, if you're really serious about your craft, take it seriously. I see, I'm long-winded, y'all, so I got stories. So
you're fine, bro.
You good?
Take your time.
Yeah.
So this year, I had the opportunity to leave my job. I was a school teacher for 12 years and special education, and I decided to make the jump and do this barbecue thing full time back in April of 2022 this year, and it has been full speed ahead ever since I made that jump. I've never had a better year in barbecue outside of this year, and that was the whole point I was trying to tell him. I said, for some people, this is their life. I know he does it too, but I'm like, you can't say that somebody else is wrong for their methods.
Right.
If the methods are working, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to, so because this is what I do full time, I have to monetize everything I do, every move I make, because time is money.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, time is money, man. And I love this enough to let go of what I call a guaranteed check. And I love this enough to say I'm going head first to my gift. I'm going head first to my craft, and it's worked for me. And so, that's basically how becoming a content creator kind of came to fruition, where it became basically another part of this whole thing called barbecue with me.
So what does that dude tell you, say to you now that he sees that you're successful with what you do?
Now that conversation was only 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy was a quote unquote friend for years, and you just all of a sudden turned on me, man. I just say, hey.
Hate. That's hate right there, man.
It sounds like he wants you to show your process so he can copy. That's what it sounds like.
He's been in the kitchen with me, man.
That's even worse.
Yeah, he's been in the kitchen with me. He can see it. It doesn't matter. People are gonna be people. You let people be people. It just I got things to do. I don't have time to go back and forth with people on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You know, so that's it.
Wow. So how was the transition from you being? Oh, well, you had 2 or 3 transitions, right? So you were in music. You transitioned to be a teacher. You're doing that the same time and whatnot.
All of it was simultaneous.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of it was simultaneous. It was rough because trying to maintain a steady job and then trying to do a lot of the things. Not that I don't love teaching, because I do. You know what I mean? Trying to maintain a steady job and then working in your gift and your craft, it can be very, it can be rough. It's days where I've had music gigs, and then the next day I have to get up and cook food. And then by Monday, I am at the school. And so I've done it all. I've done them simultaneously. It was at one point where I was doing teacher by day, chef at a restaurant by night. I had no off days whatsoever. I worked Monday through Wednesday. Monday and Tuesday were only the school. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were school, restaurant. Saturday and Sunday, I'm at the restaurant. And that was my first restaurant experience, and it did help me. It helped me a lot because my goal is to open my own restaurant by the end of next year. So it helped me a whole bunch, man. And just that transition was hard to let go. It was hard to let go of guaranteed check, not so guaranteed unless you put in the work. So how bad you want it, right? It's like what we do is what we do. How bad do you want it? So I went for it. Finally this year I went for it, and full speed ahead, man. It was great.
Wow. So what'd your family have to say when you went full speed ahead into the barbecue side? Were they worried? Were they, they were like, oh, go ahead, do that. What type of reaction did they have?
How do I say this? I couldn't make a move. I got married back in April as well.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I couldn't make a move without consulting with the wife.
Absolutely.
This was 2 days after the wedding. 2 days after the wedding, right before I went back. It was like 2 days right before I went back. No, it was a week after the wedding. 2 days before I went back to school from spring break. And I wasn't feeling it. The goal really was to leave after the school year was over. But I sat with her and I said, look, I don't want to go back to work on Monday. Honestly, I want to go ahead and let this go. I already landed an affiliation partnership with Weber Grills. It was moving. It was starting to move, and I felt it. And I told her, I said, I don't want to go back. I want to go full speed ahead on this barbecue. And she is blowing my phone up right now, as she knows I'm in a podcast. And so she said, well, I'll tell you what, if you got a plan, I want to hear your plan. And if I approve, if we like the plan, then let's do it. I had a plan. I told her the plan. She liked it. Take off. She supported me. Take off. Let's go. And it's been a blessing ever since, honestly.
Yeah, you need that support, because the way that you were doing all that stuff, simultaneously and all that, you need somebody to keep you grounded, to focus, because you just drift off, or you get so overwhelmed, you're like, I can't do the thing I love anymore because it's not fun, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you also need that encouragement, man.
Yep, that's right. I need
that.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about your style, Chef. So I know most people don't know what Chicago style barbecue is. I do, because I'm actually from that area, man. I was born and raised in East Chicago.
Oh,
so
you from around the corner.
Yeah, I'm right up the street, man. Straight down 41. You already know. And so most people don't realize that Chicago barbecue is hot and fast.
Yeah.
But I see that your style is quite different from traditional Chicago style barbecue.
I deviate, yep.
So has that been a big part of your success? Because I'm sure people are looking for something different.
Yeah. I say this. Brandon, you get it. You understand it. Yeah. Chicago barbecue is hot and fast. Even on the types of grills that they use in your typical Chicago barbecue spots, the aquarium
smokers, yeah.
Which I've worked on when I was in the restaurant. I worked on the aquarium smoker. It's a doozy to work on. I can't stand that thing. But it cooks some good ribs. I'll tell you that right now. I tried to take what I know here in Chicago, and then I pull from different places. So I have family from the Caribbean. I have family from Jamaica. I have family from Barbados. I have family from the Carolinas. I have family from Mississippi. I have family from from different areas in the South. So what I tried to do is I pulled from all different areas and kind of brought them right here to me. So I took the Chicago cuisine itself, the cuisine of it, which is basically the rib tip, which is the rib tip got popular in the Midwest and primarily in Chicago. Chicago's history with barbecue and with the meat packing industry in general is widely known. The reason why the Chicago Bulls are called the Chicago Bulls is because of the meatpacking district, the Bulls
stockyard. Yeah.
So it's very widely well known. And what happened was we had the pit masters that came up from the Mississippi Delta with their families and migrated north. Here used to go to the butcher shops to the north side, the butcher shops off Lake Street, and then they'll go grab the scraps that they cooked from there, and they brought them here to the south side, and then they started their own businesses from it. And what they did, the scraps were the rib tips and the scrap pork, where they turned into sausages, which we call hot links.
Yep.
And the rest is history. And so it's still smoked meats, but not necessarily to a point where it's low and slow. It's a hot and fast type of situation, but still the similar quality. Now, I will say this. Currently, the current state of Chicago barbecue right now is very watered down. Right now, it has not been the same for quite a long time. Since I was a kid, it hasn't really been the same. It's trying to have a resurgence with a lot of the local pit masters that are coming up, like myself. Chef Dominique Leach from Let's the Betty Smokehouse. She is doing her damn thing. So, but she also brings the Southern to her and mixes them together kind of similarly. And so what I try to do is take what I know from barbecue in general, and then I bring it together where it's something different for the palate for Chicagoans, but also familiar. If that makes sense.
No, that absolutely makes sense.
And what I did was I erased the sauce portion of it because Chicago has a tomato-based sauce.
Yeah.
So more of a tomato-based sauce here that we're known for, but I don't particularly care for it much because it can be very heavy laden with it, and it takes away from the flavor of the food. And sauce is on the side, that's fine, but sauce smothered in your food in a pool of sauce, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, the Chicago sauce can be a bit syrupy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
When you've done all that work to get that meat to that point, drown it in sauce, to me, it's a shame. But I know that's just the Chicago way, man. You get a little basket of fries with the mild sauce and the tips on top of it, and that's just the way it's done. But
that's how a lot of the Southsiders like it, and I get it. But I really am trying to introduce something different to the fray. And I think that, based off my clientele, I think that it's preferred over what's been traditional after all these years, because what they prefer right now is basically what they used to have when they were younger.
Yeah.
Which is what their family cooked, and their families cooked. Their grandmothers cooked briskets, and their grandmothers cooked ribs, and and things like that. So that's what I'm trying to bring to the table.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. Talking about the whole sauce thing, Texas, we don't deal with the sauce like that. You know how it is.
Right.
And so if I ever put sauce on my barbecue, the first thing my friends ask me is what went wrong with the cook. But I got to ask you, you talked about how you got your Chicago flavors and you try to branch out, kind of make it your own, come with a little, not so much of the sauce thing, like, kind of like we do here. And I know that you happen to have run into a local legend from down here in Joey Victoria.
My brother Joey.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to ask you, what was that like, getting to hang out with Joey Victoria and pick his brain and, pick up on some of his Central Texas barbecue tactics?
Yeah, well, the first thing I did with Joey, the first thing when I invited him to my backyard was I forced him, before we filmed my episode of On Locution with him on my YouTube channel, I forced him to taste the brisket because I needed a Texan to taste the brisket in order for it to be legit. So I knew he was there, and I knew that was one of his specialties. So I had him taste it. He liked it. I don't think he was blowing smoke up my ass. No pun intended. So
love it.
So I that's all I needed from Joey. Other than that, me and Joey had a great time. We hung out at the Windy City Smokeout that year, which you guys definitely should come to next year because it was a shindig, man. And we had a great time just talking. He gave me some pointers on how I should be cooking my food when I open my restaurant, when to put on my briskets and things like that. He really gave me some good gems.
Yeah, he's a knowledgeable guy, man. I mean, everybody loves Joey down here, And the funny thing is, we were doing a festival a while back, and he was there, and that was the one dude I was like, man, I got to go talk to Joey, and I got so busy with other things that we were doing that I missed him. We didn't get to talk, and we later talked on IG and things of that nature. But a very knowledgeable guy, man. Like I said, a good local legend. Yeah. And you mentioned, the Windy City, and I've heard about that. We've got some friends down here that have gone up to Chicago, gone to that event, cooked in it, done different things or whatever. And one of my buddies up there, Joe Yim. Have you met him? Yeah.
Not yet, but I know who he is. Yes.
Yeah. So he has some good content out there talking about doing the whole Windy City, and it just looks like a good, huge festival. And I just wanted to ask you, man, what is that like? I mean, I know what we have here when we have our Texas Monthly Barbecue Festival, but that looked like a whole just total different beast right there.
It's one of the top festivals here in Chicago. And what the great part about that is that they take so much from the culture of Texas barbecue as far as the ambiance of it all. All the music artists are country music artists. They take so much from from Southern roots to bring it here to Chicago, and I think it's a great feeling. It's really awesome. I would like for them to get more like pitmasters involved. Just FYI, it was only like one, if I'm not mistaken, and I wasn't disappointed in it. I know what it is, but. The festival is what, if you are a pitmaster and you're part of the community, great festival for you. If you can get a wristband, hang out behind the booths with the pitmasters that and eat some good food, drink some beer, and just kick back. That's what I did. So,
Absolutely, sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It really is.
So let me ask you this, because we've got a little bit here left to cover still. Talk to me about your experience with the Kingsford Preserve the Pit and how you saw that program and what you thought of it, and also being a grant recipient from that as well.
I think that this is just the beginning with Preserve the Pit. I really do believe that what they have, what they are offering, what they're bringing to the table for the culture right now is very important. It's imperative to everything because of our history with barbecue. Our history with barbecue it spans even further beyond slavery. It spans, open fire cooking and pit cooking is traditionally African, naturally. So, I mean, it's what they're doing and how they're doing it is absolutely a blessing. I think having the right people like Dr. Conyers involved definitely, not brings it down the right direction. My experience with it, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting it to happen, and it happened, and I was very grateful. They paid for that lane pit that I got in the back. You know what I mean? That's, I took that and I invested it right into the business, which is what you're supposed to do. What I figured, if we love what we do, that's what we're supposed to do. So, man, and it's been a blessing. That has blessed me even further because of it, and it's continually doing it constantly. And I'm grateful. I'm more than grateful for it. And I got to meet a lot of great people part of that 2021 class of recipients. It was like 10 of us, and even the fellows that I had the opportunity to be friends with now. It's connected me with so many great people. It's jump started the social outlook on the barbecue, the Black barbecue community. Honestly, and even me and Dr. Conyers were having a conversation, and because of my relationship with Weber, as I grow with them, I'm gonna try to see if I can get Weber involved with the Preserve the Pit as well. So I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see. I'm doing pretty well with my relationship with them, so I definitely want to throw it at them and see what we can do.
How'd you start that relationship with Weber?
It's funny. It was Instagram.
Really?
Instagram. I post something on Instagram. Weber took notice, and they reached out, and I said, "Okay, let's see what we can do." So they asked me, they made me a part of what's called the Friends of Weber program, where it's campaign based. They send you product, you use it, and you post about it, and that's the deal. And it just so happens that Weber is a Chicago company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Weber's based here in Chicago, actually based in Palatine, Illinois, where their headquarters is, but they're a Chicago company. Palatine is about 30 minutes out of Chicago. And I remember when the young lady told me, she said, "Dang, we'd love to have you aboard." I believe I'm the only Black Friends of Weber person they have.
Wow.
Now, as far as ambassadors, I know there's more. There's a few Black ambassadors. I'm trying to get to ambassador level right now. But other than that, right now, what was I saying? Okay, yeah. So right now, with the program, they're basically they send me product for different campaigns during the year. So I'm waiting right now. I'm waiting on their new pellet smoker that they're sending me, the smoke fire or whatever it's called. And so once I get that, I start making reels, I start making video, and it goes on and on from there. So what happened was they had told me if they need anything, because I'm in the area, it was like, if we need you for any events or anything like that, we'll definitely let you know. And I remember back in February, I got an email maybe a week later after I joined the program. A week later, they asked me, they said, "Hey, Chef, is it possible that you'll be able to come speak and cater our Black History Month event?"
Nice.
At the headquarters. I said, yes.
Sign me up.
Right, sign me up. So I ended up and that's how it really kicked off in full gear. That's what led me to like kind of leaving my job, saying, all right, it's about to go down this year, clearly.
Now I got you. Yeah.
So I had opportunity. They paid for everything. All I had to do was cook the food, basically. I actually cooked. I had a team get together. We catered the Black History event, and I was one of the guest speakers.
Nice.
Maybe April hits, and they call me again. They say, Daniel, we doing an event for we doing a Juneteenth event at headquarters, 300 employees. All right. Can you come out and cook? We'll set everything up for you. You let us know what grills you need, what meat you need, the whole 9 yards, and we'll have a team to help you prep.
Oh, wow. Man.
Wow. Yeah.
I said, sign me up. So let's go. So
for
now,
the Jubilee.
now we're at the races now. So we get up there. They had a whole team ready for me. I had a whole assembly line of people seasoning ribs and chicken and everything. They had all the grills I asked for lined up outside on the patio that's right in front of like this little creek that they have right behind the headquarters. And I ran it like clockwork. By the time it was time to eat, everything was done and ready to start being plated. We had almost 300 employees there, including the CEO at the time. And I got a chance to sit with the CEO and chop it up with him just about barbecue and the state of barbecue and where we're going. And I told him around that time we had a really terrible storm right before that, like a week before that, a really bad storm. And one of the trees, the branches of the trees in my backyard came down and crushed one of my Webers, my 26-inch. That 26-inch is like $450. So came down, basically crushed it. It didn't destroy it, but it crushed it a bit where it was kind of broken. Right. So I was talking about that to him and showed him a picture. 2 days later, I see an email that was forwarded out to a bunch of people where it's the CEO of Weber saying, hey, I spoke with Daniel and his wife the other day he told me about one of his grills got destroyed. Can somebody please send him another one?
What?
I said, look at that.
That boy got clout.
Hey, who said that? Look, at this point, I'm like, okay, shit, okay, let's get it. So, I swear, a couple of weeks later, I just walk in my backyard and there was a box, a Weber 26-inch box in my backyard. The apparently the FedEx man puts it in my backyard for me. So
nice.
I'm like, hey, look, that's dope.
Yeah.
Even with the new campaign that they're doing right now, that they sending stuff out to all the friends of Weber, they give you they want each friends of Weber to pick a package, but you can't adjust the package. You can't personalize it. You got to pick what they give you. So one of the main grill masters for Weber, Kevin Coleman, if ever you see Weber doing demonstrations, it's mostly Kevin doing those demonstrations. He's actually here in Chicago too. I told him, I said, Kevin, should I get this package or that package? He said they can't give you the ES6 because the ES4 too small. I said, they said I can't personalize it. He said, why don't you ask them?
Why not?
And sure enough, I sent the email like, hey, is there any possibility that you guys can do the ES6 for me? And a young lady who was placing the order, she said, sure, I could do an ES6 for my friend. I said, okay.
All right, friend.
All right, let's go. So Weber has been a huge blessing. They've been a huge blessing to me. Some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Everybody there is very nice. And yeah, that's how I got into it. Wow. I'm sorry. I told you I'm long-winded, man.
Hey, that's a great partnership right there, man.
Yeah. Nah, we want to hear all that, bro.
And it's organic. It's organic. And that's what I like about, like, even my Smoky Soul is organic. I built this from the ground up. Like, barely had any help. Preserve the Pit was like at the most as much help as I got to elevate forward. So, I built I built this from the ground up, basically cooking for friends.
Wow.
And here I am about to embark on some really big things, and I'm not even gonna tell you guys what might be coming next. I'm gonna tell you.
Hold it. Still, hold it.
When I get the okay, just know when I get the okay, I'm gonna text either all of you or a couple of y'all know, but I'm gonna let you know that it's about to go down.
Now, do we have to sign an NDA? I always ask that.
No NDAs. No NDAs needed.
All right.
Once it's set in stone, we in there.
I can't hold water. I'm just telling you.
Hey, if you need a sous chef, hit me up. That's all I'm gonna say.
I got you.
Hey, well, let me ask you this, man, because you really got, in looking at your menu, and I'm gonna go ahead. I got some B-roll footage here of your website and your menu. That pop-up menu that you got, man, you got some great stuff on there, and the flavor profiles. I'm gonna put this up here and kind of let you walk through that, man, because you really got some great stuff on here. I mean, you know, I saw that video with the whiskey glazed ribs. And let me get right here. And here on your website, this is your about page. But next, we're going to show your menu, and just walk me through, you know, how you come up with these different flavor profiles.
Okay, all right. So I can tell you right now, there's a story behind the rum glazed ribs, which are the rum glazed ribs are now whiskey glazed ribs. I changed it. Because there's a whiskey here that's actually based out of Chicago called Curveball, which is a barbecue whiskey. And I got an opportunity from one of the lady that's pretty much, you know, in charge of Curveball. She hit me up on Instagram and asked me, what's my address? Can she send me a package? And she sent me a package full of just Curveball. And big bottle of Curveball whiskey is delicious too. Kind of like a barbecue whiskey liqueur, if you will.
Okay.
It's very nice. But I said, you know what? I'm going to make a glaze out of this. And once I made the glaze out of it, it was great. So I'm probably going to switch it over from there. But the concept of the glazed ribs actually came from Pappy's Barbecue in St. Louis. What happened when I first started? Hold on one second, my daughter. All right, sorry. When I first started barbecuing professionally, I had a really good rib. I had a really good baby back rib, and my mom came back from St. Louis with my dad, and she bought me back a wrapped rib from Pappy's. I tasted it and almost fell out. I said, that's delicious. So I did my research on Pappy's. I saw them on YouTube, saw what they were doing. I said, oh, they're mopping it. Oh, I never done that before. I wonder what they're mopping it with. I didn't even know what they were mopping it with. I just know that they're mopping it with something and it tastes good. And so I took that concept and I said, let me try it. But let me do something to make my own mop and make my own mop glaze or mop sauce to complement my rib. And that's where the rum glazed rib came from. I did a rum reduction with some brown sugar, some salt, and some random stuff, barbecue seasoning, or whatever I want to use, right? And that became the rum glazed rib. And other parts of the menu, basically, I based off of my Caribbean background, my jerk. I get pimento wood shipped in from Jamaica every now and then. When I can, when customs is on my side, and I do some authentic jerk, straight from the rock.
The pan man.
Yeah, man. So I do some of that, and even with the rest of the menu, just all different versions of your classic barbecue. Just with my flavor profiles and my differences. One thing I'll tell you a secret right now. Because of my Caribbean background, all of my barbecue, I use allspice in my rubs.
Good man.
I have no problem sharing that.
Good man.
Because I think it's something about allspice.
What is the most popular thing on the menu by far? When in terms of consumption and return.
Right now, okay, the jerk rib tips might be the most sought after item on the menu. They are really good. Really
Sounds
good.
like it.
I have longtime customers that pretty much when they text me, they don't say what they want. They say, Daniel, you know what I want.
That's dope.
And it's a jerk rib tip. Lately, within the last 6 months, it has been the brisket.
Okay.
My brisket game has turned into gold in 2022. I've been trying to master this damn thing for so long, and I finally got it, and it is gold. When I get people to walk up to me and tell me, and this is outside of Joy Victoria, when I get people like clients, and they'll say, well, I'm from Texas, and this brisket tastes like it's from Texas. And I said, good. Good. That means I brought Texas to Chicago. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring that in. And the mission was accomplished. And I don't even cook, of course, like I don't even cook it with the same wood. I don't use post oak. You know what I mean? Right. I use some oak. I do use post oak every now and then, but primarily I'm a cherry wood guy. So even the flavor profile of my brisket is different.
Right.
The wood makes a difference, as you all know.
Yeah.
So
you're not finding post oak up there unless you are ordering it in, man. It's just
we got some wood people. We got a couple of wood yards that have it. That are the primary wood yards for all the pit masters here in Chicago for all the restaurants. But
so
you're right.
That's got to be a relatively new thing, though.
Yeah, it is.
Most people up there, I know every now and again the old man might get a hold of a couple pieces of wood and throw a few chunks on the fire, but it was all charcoal, man. I didn't start cooking with wood until I got to Texas.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It was all charcoal for us, man.
I started dabbling in wood when I started realizing that wood chips make everything taste better.
It does, doesn't it?
And once I started using those wood chips back in like 2010, maybe 2008, between that time, and I started using them wood chips, I'm like, sheesh, that makes a huge difference. Then I started dealing with wood chunks. Yeah, you got me now.
Yeah.
You got me now. So, yep.
Gateway drug.
I gotta ask you, because you said you got that quest going for that perfect brisket, and get some of that Texas flavor. What was the aha moment for you? As your
brisket?
Yeah, I mean, because I'll do brisket's one of my favorite things to cook. Not the favorite, but one of my favorite things. And it's one of those meats that I don't care what I do or how good I make it. I always feel like I can never master it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I got you. If that's the case, then no one has.
Oh,
no matter how you slice. If that's the case, no one has. And I'll take almost perfect over perfect any day.
Oh yeah.
And so with that being said, my epiphany was when I cooked the brisket in 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a perfect cook. It was a perfect cook. And I tried to figure out how I knew how I was doing it because I was in a time crunch. And I was like, okay, this is what a Chicago style kicking in, Brandon. Let's go hot and fast. And
yeah.
I was like, all right, and this was for a client too. So I never did it before. It was for a client. I was like, okay, let's go hot and fast. So once I tried it, I became the scientist. Then it's all about that internal temperature. If I can get that bark on there fast enough and get that internal temp where I want it, I'm gonna wrap it immediately. I'm gonna skip past the stall, and then I pulled it off and I wrapped it with like foil and butcher paper. I pulled it off, man, and I said yes. I did it in 5 hours. Now I don't make a habit out of doing it in 5 hours. I was in a time crunch. 12 hours is most of my sweet spot. But it was that day when I realized it really is about that temp. It really is about that internal temp on that meat. If I can get that bark on there, or any other meat where I can get that golden brown look on there, I use the same concept I use on my turkeys. I start high. I start high on my turkeys, and then I wrap that breast, and then I let it cook the rest of the way through. And that's what I did with the brisket, and it worked. And that was when I figured it out. I said, okay, I think I got it. So now keep practicing, keep going, keep trying different wrap techniques. When to wrap, what temperature can I wrap on that I feel comfortable with, things like that. So that's how I figured it out. That part, I can't. You're right. I can't say that I perfected it, but I definitely got something.
Hey, you doing what works for you, man. That's all that matters.
So what is your favorite thing to cook? Is it brisket, ribs? What is it? Ribs. Yeah.
Ribs, more ribs.
Spares or baby backs?
It used to be baby backs, but I'm starting to lean towards spares again.
Oh, man.
So I love baby backs. I do. The problem is I have with baby backs and how I cook. Baby backs can tend to dry on you. And I don't like wrapping baby backs. So I normally don't wrap my ribs at all. I do not wrap them at all.
Right.
So I've been leaning a lot towards St. Louis spares lately, and so that's right now my favorite one to prepare. Cook.
I like that.
Yeah, to me, the St. Louis is the sweet spot, man, because like you said, the baby backs, it's just not much to them. And if you are really trying to truly smoke them, yeah, they do have a tendency to dry out on you, man. And I think full spares are just a big honking mess. You know, I mean, just that's just the way I feel about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Cut that tip off and make rib tips.
That's it.
There you go.
And they're so ununiform. It's hard to get a bunch of them on the grill at once because so to me, the St. Louis that's the perfect one.
I agree. Yep. That's my new favorite.
So it's getting cold out. You're in Chicago, right? I've never been to Chicago, but from what I've seen and from people who live in Chicago, the wintertime is very, very cold. How do you deal with that cold weather and your cooks?
I don't know.
Well, we got something in common there.
Nothing but the blood. Ain't nothing but the blood of Jesus.
Hey.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I try my best to. It's good days, it's bad days with it. When you have a windy day, like right now, like outside right now, it's maybe around. I want to say around 31 degrees right now and windy. No, sorry, 26 and windy. As I'm looking at the phone, 26 degrees and windy. Yesterday was 60 degrees, by the way. That's that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So
I tell people all the time, in Chicago, you can run your heat and your air conditioner on the same day.
Same day. Yesterday was 60. Today is now 26. If it's windy outside, it will be hell on my grills. Hell on them.
Yeah.
I have to keep feeding them.
Yep.
As much as possible because that cold air. What I tend to do is I run my grills before I cook. So I run and let them grills heat up before I cook as much as possible. So if I'm starting to do a prep and do a cook for an event or something like that, I start running my grills to get the heat circulating and get the bowls with my kettles, get the bowls warm. In my offset, that offset does pretty well in cold weather. The Lane 84 does pretty good in cold. In the cold, it doesn't do too bad. But I'm definitely going to invest in some insulation blankets to go over my hot box to get a little bit more oomph out of that heat because that heat's just going to escape right through the metal. So the Webers do pretty decent. The Webers do pretty good. It's because of that porcelain, that enamel. that covers them. It does feel good.
Okay.
So
Now, I got a question. So I'm a Weber guy. I love my kettle. And I don't know about you, but when it's windy outside, it's weird. I tend to manage my temp better for whatever reason. Do you find that too, or
yeah. When it's windy, it's gonna add more oxygen to your fire. That's all.
yeah?
It's just putting more oxygen in. The fire's gonna burn. If you blow at your fire, it's gonna, if you just blow at your fire, the fire's gonna get hotter and start spreading. And so if it was windy outside, yeah, it's gonna work. If it's cold and windy though, that's different.
Yeah, one thing about when that hawk come down, brother, all you can do is do what he tell you to do, man.
The hawk outside right now, knocking on my window, saying, "What you doing over there?"
So, fellas, the hawk is what we refer to as the cold and windy condition in Chicago.
Yes.
Oh, I felt it. Yeah.
Trust me, when the hawk is out, bro, you tightening up everything, bro. You,
man, that
it's like you tucking in like Debo in town, bro. Like you trust me, you don't want nothing hanging on.
That you get outside that hawk and just start laughing uncontrollably because it makes you delirious. And this is not. I'm dead serious. Y'all think I'm playing?
It's true.
This ain't no joke. You got to feel my pain on this. I have started laughing uncontrollably before I got in the car. That's how cold the wind was hitting my face.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair.
Inside of your nose freezing up and whatnot.
Now, have you ever had this thing happen where you getting out the car, it's windy in Chicago, you're like, swing open the door, getting your stuff out, and the door just swings back in your face? How many times did that happen?
Oh, plenty times. I see it coming ahead of time. I just know when to turn around and turn my body to it. Or, yeah, plenty times. It's either one or two things. Either you gonna open your door and it's gonna blow your door open.
Snatch it open, yeah.
One of the two. Yeah. My screen door downstairs has a hard time with the wind because it keeps blowing it clean. It's gonna break it clean off next time and do it, I swear. Yep.
You know, I got to ask you one more. I'm going to pivot back to this. I noticed, a while back you had put a post up on your IG dealing with Eggs Benedict.
Uh-huh.
And you had said you were going to do the brisket because that's one of the things that we do down here is that brisket Benedict. So I want to ask you, did you actually do it?
Not yet. I was just speaking with one of the restaurant, a good friend of mine, Connie from Five Loaves Eatery, which is a breakfast and brunch restaurant here in Chicago. And I was telling her, I said, I'm telling you, I told her, you need to really expand on, you should expand on some smoked meats. Mm-hmm. She's going to partner with me on it. And I said, I have industrial slicer, all of that. Listen, I'm telling her, I told you, brisket, eggs Benedict. Now, it's crazy that you said that, Alton, because I didn't know that anybody thought of that but me.
Oh, no, that's a common thing down here, man. I actually did a video on that.
Really? All right. I'm gonna watch it. It
was one of my first videos when I really didn't know what I was doing. So don't hold it against me. But I do this because you're in that restaurant realm,
right?
And if you want to really kind of pay that homage to Texas with the brisket Benedict,
absolutely,
make it, instead of using that English muffin, make it on a biscuit.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That sounds real good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a big square biscuit.
I'm gonna do it for. I'm gonna film it. I'm gonna do it for one of my episodes.
Yeah, man.
I'm definitely gonna do that. That'd be nice. I think that's a good idea.
Definitely get a little of that hot sauce in that holidays.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh yeah.
Y'all make me hungry now.
The holidays is the real challenge.
Yeah,
that's the real challenge. And what's crazy is that in the pictures that you see on there, those pictures, that's my first time making Eggs Benedict.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was my first time making holidays, and I nailed it the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy to do.
Not easy.
I used to see a lot of people freaking when I was in culinary school, man. This one young lady, man, she just could not get it. And I mean, man, she must have made 5 or 6 batches. She's crying.
Yeah, it kept breaking.
It kept breaking. The chef's
Yeah.
ripping our head off, and I mean, it was a bad day. And I used to work at the casino in Hammond. I don't even remember what it's called now. Horseshoe. I used to work in the steakhouse there, and we had a guy, man, one of the line cooks. He'd been in kitchens for years. He used to make hollandaise in the robo coupe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, man, he had it down.
Yeah, he did.
he would get those yolks going and drizzled the clarified butter in there, man. And I figured out it was the speed of his butter drizzle was what made the difference. And of course, that robo coupe it's moving. You know, that's not your household food processor. That thing is moving, man.
Right.
And it was just whipping enough air in there, and he was drizzling at just the right rate. And he would prep the hollandaise sauce for the whole evening service right there in the robo coupe. It was the damnest thing you'd ever see.
Nice. I made another batch not that long ago when I finally got my KitchenAid blender, and that KitchenAid did the trick. It did way better than my hands could have did.
Yeah,
honestly. So yeah.
I know I did it with a stick blender.
Oh yeah. I do it too. Yep, I do it too.
I used to have to do it by hand in culinary school.
Yeah,
not fun.
Brandon,
not fun.
Listen, because I trained under some great chefs, some of my mentors, because I didn't get the opportunity to go to school, and it's crazy because they had taught me all of these different things, and I did like a whole thing with myself personally, where each week I wanted to do a dish out of each of the mother sauces, and that's how the eggs Benedict came to be when I did that. And so I think I pretty much nailed them all for the most part, but it's those moments where you doubt yourself the most. You know what I mean? And sometimes you don't want to do it. Like it was a while before I made hollandaise sauce again, like over almost 2 years before I made it again.
It's intimidating, man.
Intimidating, yeah. So
it really is.
I know that feeling, man.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that brisket Benedict from you.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely gonna do that.
Shoot.
Definitely gonna do that.
I'm looking forward to making it. I'm like, y'all got me.
Nope, I'm ready. I'm
looking forward to eating it.
Yeah,
right.
It's some good stuff, but putting it on a biscuit instead of that English muffin, man, just gives it a little bit for us. Gives it a little bit of Texas feel.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, one of them big square joints like
Yeah.
Bird does.
Yes,
We have a biscuit joint down here called Bird Biscuit. His brother has it down there. That's off Manor Road, right? Oh,
man, I haven't been to that one. I knew about brisket 512.
Okay, well, yeah, Bird Biscuit is phenomenal, man. Those square biscuits are, man, at least 3.5 inches tall.
Yeah.
And man, tender, flaky, just
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it that way.
I think that would be the ticket, something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it that way. I have a buddy of mine, Jared Leonard, who he had a barbecue spot here in Chicago. He now owns AJ's Pit Barbecue in Denver. He had a biscuit like that. Does he still have it at Bud Long? Yeah, he has a hot chicken place here in Chicago as well, and he has a biscuit that's just like that. I believe he might have taken that idea and used it here, and it's very good. So if it's anything like that, then I'm definitely gonna try it that way.
Yeah, I think that'll be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Hey, let me ask you this. So, Chef, how'd you get the name Sweet Smoky? Smoky Soul Barbecue.
It's from the connection between my music and my food. So, barbecue and soul music. To me, I always thought that music and food are unifiers. They're the thing that bring people together the most.
Yeah.
They're more music and food are universal. Of course, a lot of stuff is subjective, but everybody likes music and everybody likes food. You do not run into no person on this earth that doesn't like some type of music, and definitely not some type of food. So I've met people that don't even watch TV, but they do listen to music. So Smoky Soul came basically from my love for food and music. That's how I came up with the name.
So you give them an opportunity to dance for the music and the food, right? You know.
Wait, what?
You give them an opportunity to dance with the music and the food at the same damn time, right?
Right. You make people dance when they taste the food.
Yeah.
See that? We're thinking now. We're thinking. Wait till the restaurant open. I'm gonna have a vinyl record player right there in the restaurant. Oh, I got it set up. I'm ready. Oh.
You got it laid out like Ray's Boom Boom Room. How you got it all figured out? Yeah.
Now the big question is, are you gonna come out of the kitchen and sing?
Somebody asked me that years ago. I'm like,
listen. There was a place called Max on Main, and the guy named Max, he was there, and he was in the kitchen. He was cooking, and about 8 o'clock, you know, when everybody's ordered their food and stuff, he come out the back with his guitar. He's singing the blues, and that was like the theme.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There you go, live music.
Yeah,
it's a bit vain, don't you think?
No,
I mean, only if your food isn't good. And from what I've been hearing and seeing, your food is good, so you might as well just go ahead and throw it in there.
Okay,
go all the way with it.
Might as well.
I would definitely not mind doing like acoustic sets.
That'd be dope.
With different artists every week, every Friday. But until then, I just want people to taste the food.
Cool. Well, as long as you dance. Yeah, I mean that whole vibe with bringing, you know, like acoustic sets and people in with the food, even if you don't do it yourself. I mean, just having that vibe in there, just marrying the two, because like you said, music is universal, food is universal, and it brings people together. So I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah. That was the whole goal. So I'm definitely going to incorporate something music wise, even into the menu. You can incorporate something music wise. But definitely want to incorporate something into the music, you know, during like when we open the restaurant. That'd be definitely something to look into. So I agree.
Yeah, I haven't been to Chicago yet, but when I got a place to stop, I'm stopping by that restaurant first.
Yes, sir.
Man, please do. I'm gonna have a VIP section for all the pitmasters.
I think that sounds like a road trip for the whole crew.
Right. Exactly.
You got the velvet rope out. You gonna have bottle girls? No bottle girls.
Sure.
That is starting to sound like the Boom Boom Room.
Right.
It is.
Right.
Piano bar.
Awesome, man. This has been great. Chef Daniel, tell everybody where they can find you, man. All your socials, all your platforms. How do they find you?
You find me. You can follow me on Facebook because apparently they don't do friend requests for me anymore. You got to follow me. I think It's weird. It's weird. I don't like it. Friend request sounds so much more personal. So I'm on Facebook, Daniel Hammond on Facebook, Smoky Soul Barbecue Chicago on Facebook. Follow there or like that page. Your favorite pitmaster on Instagram. Quick story behind that. Pitmasters here in Chicago, when they have things to do, they defer to me to cook the food. So I'm your favorite pitmaster's favorite pitmaster.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, look how hard I just gave.
Yeah.
That's smooth, soulful.
I love it.
You know, no. All right. So always thinking. Remember, I'm a brand within a brand.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes,
There
sir.
you go.
Remember that, you guys. Outside of our businesses, we are brands ourselves.
That's right.
Sir.
You always got to sell yourself as that you are a brand by yourself, and then your business is a brand. Anyway,
Yes, sir.
so Smoky Soul Barbecue, Smoky Soul BBQ Chicago on Instagram is the company page. Smoky Soul from the Second City with Chef Daniel is my YouTube channel. I know it's a long ass name, but that's the YouTube channel. The Smoky Soul from the Second City with Chef Daniel, or just type in Smoky Soul from the Second City.
Awesome. T-Dubb, where can they find you, brother?
Find me on Instagram at T-Dubb.bbq.
My man. Brother Alton, how about you, man? I know you worldwide, so I know you you got like all of them, man. Yeah.
But hey, just like you see on the screen, the Dog Fathers Barbecue. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook as well. So hit me up. Also, you can email me at thedogfathersbarbecue@gmail.com.
My man. Charlie Mav, where can we find you and Lord Vader?
Man, everywhere you look on the socials, you can find me under MAVERIC BBQ, man.
My man. Speaking of Lord Vader, Chef Dan, you got to get some Star Wars back there on that cabinet, bro.
I'm not going down there. No. Look, I refuse to go down that rabbit hole. You see this?
I see it, and I see it's devoid of anything Star Wars.
I'm dropping stuff. Look at, hold on.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So I'm not going down this rabbit hole, man. I'm a Star Wars guy, so I refuse to go down that rabbit hole. That's some more money to spend. Just more money to spend. I got G.I. Joe, He-Man, X-Men, Transformers, Ninja Turtles, Gargoyles.
Spirit animal, man. I like that. Oh, man. Go ahead now.
Oh man,
It's okay. It's okay. We love it.
that's
Brother-
good stuff.
Brother Jeff, where can they find you, man?
You can find me everywhere at Outdoors with Jeff. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook.
My man. And all y'all looking for me in my luxurious Maine, y'all can find me on all platforms at BKC Cooks. And Chef Daniel, man, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure having you, man. We do hope to have you back one day soon, man. We
Absolutely.
Really love everything you're doing, man, and hope much continued success in the future.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. This is awesome. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta come back, especially when I share that good news. I gotta come back.
Yeah.
Hey, we would love for you to break it here, man. We would be glad to have you.
I definitely would love to, man. I'll let you guys know.
Awesome. Well, everybody, we appreciate y'all watching. This is the Black Smoke Barbecue Podcast, and we will catch y'all on the next one.